So, in terms of the economic crisis that we're facing as a result of the COVID, I think the best solution would have been to, across the board, suspend rent payments for 3 months, 5 months. That would have given us the best chance to uh, return back to what we call normal. The stimulus was good, but the stimulus is not a long term solution because I guarantee you, 90% of the people who received that stimulus already blew through it, didn't put it in savings, didn't put it towards. Maybe they were focusing on survival, maybe they're focusing on something else, but it's not going to provide the kind of long term economic um, salvation that we need and the stability that we need in order to get everything back on track. I feel like the rent solution would give us the best chance to return back to normal because what happens in August or September or whenever when folks have to, yeah, the eviction, you're not getting evicted right now, but that's going to get lifted eventually. And so what happens in August when people owe 4 or 5 months of rent? Uh, maybe they've been working if they're lucky. Maybe they haven't. How are you supposed to pay 4 or 5 months worth of rent if you haven't been working? You know. So this was a little bit of a band aid on the issue, and there's still going to be issues once the eviction restrictions are lifted, and people still have to pay 4 or 5 months of rent. The reason I say this is because with most of rent obligations, mortgage obligations, real estate obligations, most of the time the road is going to lead back to the bank, lead back to the bank, lead back to the government, and so the bank and the government are the entities that just received the $2.3 trillion from us and the hundreds of millions of dollars that came right after that. They just received that from us. So if there's anybody that is in a position to absorb the final end of a 3 to 5 month rent restriction, it is the government and the banks. Because we just wrote them a blank check to be able to absorb it. But we saw that that didn't happen. We saw that we gave the government the money or the okay, or they didn't. We didn't give it. They took it. They passed the bill, and then they gave. They're distributing this money. Who knows how they're distributing this money? We saw when it comes to the corporations, or in terms of how the banks were distributing the money, that it went to their high profile clients, JP Morgan, TD Bank, whoever your top 50 business clients are, those are the people you're going to give the bailouts to. And we saw that that happened. We saw that that happened. So I feel like this could have been a much more efficient system. Same with the bailout in 2008. We could have done that more efficiently as well. And I think that the main point that we need to take away from this is that no matter what you think, no matter what they tell you, for most people, the common good, the U.S. government, the banks, the corporations, the social structure in the U.S. I'm speaking of specifically. They don't have your best interest in mind. They don't have your best interest at heart. They're not looking out for you. They don't care about you. You're simply just whatever you are, But you're not important. You're not important. And I think until we get on a level where we are collaborating and organizing on the same level that they are, that they will continue to do this. The only difference between them is the way that they are able to collaborate and organize effectively for their own interests. And I'm talking about elite interests, business interests, military interests, government interests, banking interests, and all the sectors that extends into. But on the elite level where you are putting corporate interests above the common good. These are the people I'm talking about when I say they. But the only thing they have on us is their effectiveness at collaborating and their effectiveness at organizing. And once we match that, we will bounce back. Um, but this is just one and another example of the fuckery. The fuckery. And this presidential race we have coming up, Biden versus Trump, I got some shit for y'all. I got some shit to say about that, and that's a whole nother situation. Um, we have to do better, y'all. Collaboration and organization amongst each other. All right, for the common good. Power to the people.